We are live. Welcome one and all to our X-Men watch party. And I am joined today by Alex.
Hey, gang, how's it going?
Thank you, Alex, for joining me today.
Always a
Um,
pleasure. Have
this this is going to be
a fun
um,
one.
a fun one, and I kind of feel like we needed that fun one after last week's really heavy movie. Um,
Yeah, I missed last week, but I remember distinctly watching District 9 in the theater, and it's like, oh, it's this type of sci-fi movie. Okay, that's a bit of a downer ending.
exactly. So this is going to be nothing but a fun roller coaster ride. Um, about an hour and 44 minutes if you factor in all of the credits. Um, but we're not going to be sitting through all of that. So we're looking at probably an hour 35, 39 minutes.
Give or
Nice
take.
short one. And yeah, without further delay, Alex, do you want to count us down? We are at the very beginning, at the zero mark, right before your 20th century logo pops up.
Yeah. So whether you're on DVD, Blu-ray, 4K, or Disney Plus, if you've started the movie, pause, back out to zero it, and in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. The
Okay.
lovely Mr. Newman's Fox logo.
Yep, and we've got the little X that's going to accentuate at the very end.
Yeah.
Uh, before before we go any further, um, we are not going to be above technical gremlins today.
Oh, fun.
Um,
What's going on?
uh, okay, my timer. Let me start my timer again, which I have gotten from a news source. That might have been what was causing all of my problems.
All right. We're about
And
40 seconds in now with Patrick Stewart giving his narration.
yep, so we're into
Yep.
the
All good.
story. So, okay, let me start. My timer that I have up there at about
48. It's about 48 odd seconds. So it's on time. It's like
okay,
a couple seconds. Yeah, it's
perfect.
good.
So let me just start everybody off before we do a roll call. I am in now a part of the country that gets some wildfires, and my electric company, in the event that there's a fire anywhere near me, they will cut my power unexpectedly.
Mm.
We had this happen yesterday. I'm hoping it doesn't happen today. I'm just giving you guys the heads up. If it does, give me 5 minutes to come back online. Alex can continue the party.
Yep.
I've got backup battery power that I'm just going to hook into. There you go. And Alex
And
will do the show today.
yeah. Well, right into
Yep, we are right
the
into
right into the heavy part of the story.
yes. And this is also brought back when you go into X-Men First Class, which
Yep.
I also watched today. It goes into more of the background of this story. But right now, we just kind of touch on
Yeah.
the origin of one of
Magneto.
the mutants.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do roll call before we get too far into it.
Yeah.
Over in YouTube, we have Eric, Miss Swift,
Mad
Helifino.
Matt.
Yes, we are excited.
Yeah.
Um, Calbob,
Edward
we
the
have
Black Prince.
Edward the
Yeah.
Black Prince is here today. Sith's sister, old Johnny Devick. And of course, James Hellier is on vacation today and next week, but he might be popping up in the chat if we're lucky. Okay. Over on Discord, let's see. Mr. Furzel, Eric, um, let's see. Sis Sister, I was on there briefly. Mad Matt's over there. We got a bunch of good gifts today. Let's see. Who am I missing? Edward the Black Prince is over there. Right on.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is probably one of the heaviest elements of this whole series is the
Yeah.
origin
Of Magneto.
and
Yeah.
of Magneto. And of course, the origin of the X-Men mutants has to do with the mutations of their genes, not so much of the external forces, like some of the other superheroes that we've seen,
Yeah.
um, which which lends itself to a different element of superhero. I was not privy to the X-Men's origin in comic books so much as in the movies.
Yeah.
So, for any of you that are the comic book fans, there's probably a whole new lore behind all of these characters and their relationships. So,
Yeah.
if you're a fan of the comic books, shout out any comments or interesting tidbits because these date back to the 60s.
Yeah.
Um, the movies, I believe this was the first
Yeah.
forte into the X-Men universe.
Yeah. If we don't count the Saturday morning cartoon,
Right.
which
What?
had 4 years, and then they just had a fifth, no, 4 or 5 seasons, and just had a new season from Disney last couple of years. And just one, I remember watching this in the theater, and they had the opening in Poland, and this movie came out in 2000, and depending on how old you were, they would be distinct memories of watching Schindler's List. And then you're like, oh, damn, we're starting with this now.
Yeah.
And
What kind of movie is this?
yeah. And then we now have Miss Anna Paquin, Academy Award winner Anna Paquin.
From way back when she was like 9 or 10, she won for the
Yeah.
piano.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so yeah, hell if I know. That's interesting because we were just discussing it before the stream started. When does this flick actually? When is it supposed to actually take place? 2005.
They never give a year when, just as we were going into Rogue's house here, like it had,
Mm-hmm.
we know Poland 1944, and that's the only year we have to go on in this movie. And then it just
Yes.
says the near future of 2000, the near future of who knows, but we can guesstimate with their wardrobe and some styling and stuff that it's probably late 90s or 90s, and it's meant to be the early 2000s, probably.
Yes, by the feel of it, yeah, it could be current time, which back then is
Mm-hmm.
2000. It doesn't feel like it's any
It doesn't
not
feel
too
like
much
it's
earlier than that.
period. Yeah,
Yeah,
and again, it's not period, but it's not ultra modern either, or ultra of its days very
right.
much. Yeah, like maybe
Interesting.
maybe the eyeglasses give something away for the era it was in, but that's maybe
Right.
it.
And the political unrest that we see here, the fear of mutants, the fear of that's the nature of humankind. It's
Yeah,
always been afraid of the unknown.
yeah,
Um,
and that's
so
right.
I
That's
don't want to
right from the
miss
comics too.
Mad Matt. Rogue Story is completely different from the comics.
It most certainly is.
Okay, so what is Rogue Story in the comics versus this is here?
She's Mystique's daughter in the comics. When she's introduced in the comics, I think we go into backstory, but the power's the same. Like if she touches someone, she can take their life force, absorb their powers. But you know, she can fly in the comics because she straight up killed a guy. Um, and she has other powers because she either stripped people of their powers or had to kill them to get them. I might be confusing some of the comics and the cartoon, but that's
So she
she's
sounds a little bit more interesting in the comics
yeah.
because as these Edward the Black Prince comment, I hate Rogue in this. Calbot says Rogue Story here is I can't kiss my boyfriend. Wham. Yeah, so it sounds like it's a
Yeah,
bit watered down.
yeah, but they're taking the idea of she can't touch someone without violently hurting them or killing them.
Yeah.
What's that going to do to a teenage girl's psyche, which is
Oh,
which is already a teenage girl's psyche?
right.
So, being
And that
a
kind
dude,
of
I can't
plays
speak
into
to that, but
what
still,
she does in this movie, and she just
hmm
tries to live a solitary life.
yeah.
Um,
Now,
yeah,
this exchange here is still one of the best in the 6 or 9 movies, 10 movies they've done of
Isn't
explaining
this
both sides of the argument. It's like
exactly? And
we've both been through a lot of crap in 50 years. I'm
yep, and
here,
it's
you're
basically just
there, I get
touching
it.
on their friendship.
Yeah.
But we get the sense they have such a rich history and a rich past, and yes, they do.
Yeah.
Again, from X-Men First Class, um, really delves into the beginning of their friendship. Now, whether that is true based on from where the comics come from, I don't know, but their
Kinda
friendship is
is.
definitely
Yeah.
the core of X-Men First Class.
Hmm.
They're friends to the end, even though they're mortal enemies, divided as far as you can get on their beliefs.
Hmm.
They still maintain that friendship.
And they, as sort of bitter enemies, if you will, they never want to actually kill each other.
Right.
And like, let's presume we've seen some of these movies. In the third movie, when certain events happen, shall we say, to be a little spoiler free, Magneto has a line to another character, I think it was Pyro maybe, where he says, Charles Xavier has done more for mutant kind than you will ever know. And I'm like, okay, so even if they're on vastly different sides of the argument, there's always respect and they always have that friendship underlying
Yeah.
everything.
And I think it's because they each understand each where each is coming from and why.
Yeah.
Charles totally understands where Eric is coming from, even though he wishes he would choose a different path. The same could be said for Eric wanting Charles to go to his side because, but even though he understands where he's coming from, and
Yeah.
they each have their place.
Hmm.
But it makes for a very interesting movie. So there's kind of that human and mutant, and then there's also a divide in the mutant philosophy.
Yeah.
So
And I love this
um,
line. Anything goes. Don't kick him in the balls. You said anything goes. He'll take it personal.
he
And
won't like getting hit in the nuts. Let me tell you.
yeah, now this is still, I think, the perfect introduction for the Wolverine character.
Perfect introduction.
And it's Slim Wolverine.
And you know what? Let's face it, guys. This is
It
such
works.
a fun movie to watch.
Yeah.
There's some deep, philosophical points we can make.
Hmm.
I went to it and I saw it in the theater probably half a dozen times, and it's just fun. You don't have to go into any deep thinking on it. You
Yeah.
don't have to know any of the backstory to know this is just a fun, kick-ass movie.
Yeah.
I do want to point out,
And they are using Canadian money. They're in Alberta. They're using Canadian money.
nice. So Mr. Furzel is kind of on the opposite. Okay, Mr. Furzel was saying, as much as I love superhero movies and comic books in general, I was never a big X-Men fan. In spite of the clear racism allegory, their little slice of the Marvel Universe always seemed the most outlandish and toughest to follow. The art, the tech, the storylines, they were all over the place.
That's true.
So
I won't disagree with that. Like
yeah.
because it's mutant powers, superpowers, all that's it's based in an evolution of biology. It's not as straightforward as an Iron Man. Billionaire makes
Right.
tech, uses tech, or Spider-Man's got his 2 or 3 things that always show up, and he always does.
Yeah.
But if someone's a psychic or a telepath or invulnerable and has regenerative healing capabilities and has been bonded with adamantium, that's weird stuff. So
That's true. And sometimes this movie series, which is a franchise, for better or
it
for worse, they have turned it into
goes, yeah,
a franchise.
goes all over the place in a few spots.
Yes, there are in some of the later movies in particular.
Yeah.
It does. It is outlandish. It's hard to, you just going to shake your head and like, why, guys? Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
I think the first three movies,
Yeah.
I think in this series are solid. Watch them back to back.
Hmm.
They tell a very interesting tale. Now,
Yeah.
you had spoken of spoilers before, Alex.
Yeah.
Shout out anybody who has not seen this movie before. If you haven't, even though this movie is 23 years old and the X
20,
Men goes way
25 years
back,
old.
is it 20?
2000,
Oh my
25
God.
years old.
Why am I thinking 20? It's 25 years old. Oh my God. Yes, 25 years old. We can hold off on some spoilers if you haven't seen this.
Hmm.
We don't need to go into all the spoilers, and yeah, there's quite a few. If you pull in a lot of the other movies, we can go off on a tangent and talking about all of the characters, all of what their story is going to become, how it brings it back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
And
no one is shouting out that they haven't. So
yeah, that's
so
good.
everyone has seen this. I take it.
Yeah. And yeah, there's like in the first, what, there's 7 to 10 minutes of being introduced to the Wolverine character, everything he is being shown. Like he's doing the whole thing with his hands. There's a line coming up when she says, "When they come out, does it hurt?" Every time. That's true of his character in this. That's true of his character in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yes.
23 years later when they made it. And I still love, and they never fixed it. Her accent slips and his accent slips when they're in the truck in about 3 minutes. He says, "Look, kid, I donated Vice on auto before he goes out the window."
I have
His,
not
his,
noticed that.
give it, make sure you listen for it. His Aussie accent kicks
Oh,
in
it comes through.
completely. And
Oh, how
it brought me out of the movie a little bit when I first heard it, but I thought he's Canadian, he's lived for 200 years, he's been all over the world, his accent's going to float around. But
yeah.
his accent,
He's really an old man, isn't he?
like this must have been early in the shoot because his accent doesn't slip anywhere else. It's coming up in about 90 seconds.
Um,
And I
well,
just find it hilarious, is all.
you know what's interesting is you might be right about that. The story goes is when he first auditioned for Wolverine, he had no idea what a Wolverine was, and he
Yep.
went into the audition with something totally off the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And the casting directors were like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah.
And so it probably took him a while to get into character.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Well, that,
so,
and he was replacing the previous actor when they'd already been shooting for 3 or 4 weeks.
oh, who was the previous actor?
I I don't think they'd ever been publicly said, at least not in any of the behind the scenes stuff that I was watching. They never mentioned who the previous actor is. So it's not as, I don't think, as well known as the Back to the Future Eric Stoltz. Out the
Oh,
door. Goodbye, Eric. Thank you for your time.
yeah.
And yeah, and once I remember him telling, I think it was, he's told it a few times, but it was during the Deadpool Wolverine thing, and he said when they were getting him in, because they shot this in Toronto, or when they brought him back in, they didn't, after he was hired, they didn't have his work visa set up.
Mm.
So they said, "Well, come in anyway." He's like, "Okay," and then he was a little bit, like he was there and back, there and back. Well, what are you here for, and all that? He gets brought in to a holding room by the Canadian Customs guys, and finally he breaks in. He's like, "I'm an actor. The studio hasn't got my work visa done yet." "Well, what do you mean? What are you shooting?" "Oh, it's this thing called X-Men. I'm playing Wolverine." The guy's like, "Wolverine? What?" He rolls up his sleeve and he has a massive Wolverine tattoo on his forearm. And he
Oh,
go
fantastic.
and as he's escorting him out of the room, he says, "Bro, I got Wolverine over here," and he walks him out of the building. Go to work. Oh,
Oh, that's
and
fantastic.
I just talked over his accent slip. I'm very sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. Did anybody else catch it? Because I have to have my movies on mute, and so I just have the subtitles. I can go back and see if I can catch it.
Yeah, when he says, "Look," and he has a cigar and he says, "Look, kid, I don't need advice on auto." And the way he says, like, "I don't need advice on auto," and that's he goes out the window. But that whole stretch of like 5 or 7 words, that's full on Aussie accent, and they still haven't really bettered the effect, I don't think, of his head healing and showing the adamantium on his forehead in about 2 seconds when you see him healing. It's a 25-year-old effect, and it really hasn't gotten any better.
Well, definitely, right there, you can see it.
Yeah. And I'm wondering if my TV is messed up with its color profile right now.
Well, it is very
It's blue.
muted
It's
colors.
Yeah, it's
It's
very blue
very
right now.
yeah. Um,
Okay, users all messed up. Oh yeah, it's very blue because Dynamics all just
it
accented.
is.
Okay.
Yeah, and so in the chat, I've got I've got differing opinions on
Who was
X
the
Men.
original Wolverine? Yeah.
No. Edward the Black Prince is saying Last Stand still sucks. Miss Swift is saying
Yeah.
this trilogy always underwhelmed me.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. And Sith Sister, X2 is the strongest of this set, but Last Stand is definitely a compromised division.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, Last Stands
Oh, I
is because
get it.
it's because it got started with Bryan Singer. He up and went off to do Superman Returns and took Cyclops with him. And then Brett Ratner came in and did the best he could with what he had. Most of a story idea, part of a script, and a timeline to shoot the damn thing. So I can't blame Brett Ratner for a not great movie
Yeah.
when the studio didn't let him make a decent X-Men movie, which he could very well
Yeah.
have done.
Um, well, I tell you, when these came out, this one was in 2011. A couple years later, we get X2, then the third, a couple years apart.
Yep.
They were so much fun to watch and actually go to the theater and watch them.
They were great. They were really great theater experiences, even if some of
And
the story
it
was
was
weird.
a great theater experience because I don't think up until that point I had ever seen a superhero movie. Well, besides Superman, okay,
Yeah,
Superman is in the
Superman, Batman, yeah. So
in Batman
yeah,
1989. I've never seen one like this before.
no, you
And
hadn't. No
it
one had.
was phenomenal. And then
Oh
a
yeah,
couple years later, after this trilogy, we get Iron Man in 2008. And once Iron Man, you could put X Men at this level. Iron Man took it to like the extreme up here.
yeah.
It was Iron Man just started the whole Marvel universe. It
Mhm.
was the best, probably at the time, it was the best superhero movie.
It was.
Um,
And it's
and even
still.
now, comparatively, it's probably one of the top
It
three or
is.
four.
If you look at all the superhero movies, you're gonna have like, and it makes sense that it's the original, like the first of their series. Superman 1, Batman 89.
Yep.
Well, let's say Batman 89 and Batman Returns as one. This and X2, Spider Man 1, Spider Man 2, and then Iron Man 1. And even really
Absolutely.
let's say the first four Marvels, which are Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, Iron Man 2.
Okay. Well, Mr. Furzel is voting for the best superhero movie is probably Superman 2.
Which version of Superman
That
2?
is with, what is his name?
Oh, he's saying Spider-Man 2. You said Superman, or I heard
Oh, did I
Superman.
say no? Spider-Man 2. That's Superman 2. Spider-Man 2. What's the kid's name?
Tobey
It's
Maguire
Tobey Maguire. Thank you very much.
and Kirsten Dunst
Yes, and Kirsten Dunst.
and
As
Alfred Molina
a,
being maybe one of the best comic book villains ever.
yep, yep. So I think the first two Spider-Man are good, and of course, Iron Man just went into this.
Stratosphere.
It took Marvel into, you're right, the stratosphere, and that is why we get 20. I would say 15, 18 really top-notch movies.
And a couple
Um,
of so-sos, yeah.
and a
Couple of all
couple of
sorts.
so-sos.
Yeah.
But in the first and second, um, what? They're in what phase 5? But I think the first two phases is where we get up until Endgame, or was Endgame the end of three?
Endgame was end of 3, I want to say.
Three.
Yeah,
So
and then
phase one, two, and
4,
three.
4 and 5 were weird with their. There was no real jump of this is the next phase because there was no big
Right.
massive leap of the storytelling. It's like phase 2 because like you've got Avengers 1, you've got Winter Soldier, which is still maybe the best of the Marvel movies.
Hmm.
If
You
if
think?
not if
Okay.
not for the fact that you kind of need to have seen about 3 or 4 of the other movies for it to make
Right.
any damn sense.
As far as a standalone,
Yeah.
it I still think this movie, the X-Men, as a standalone,
Oh
you
yeah.
don't really have to know anything
Anything.
about the history, and this
Yeah.
is a great movie.
Oh yeah.
um, and a standalone, you don't even have to know any of the Marvel.
You don't need to know any
And
of the history. You don't need to know any of the lore because Patrick
I
Stewart
think
is telling you.
exactly, exactly. So Iron Man is one of the top notch. Spider Man, of course, everybody is familiar with Spider Man, and Tobey Maguire just delivered a phenomenal performance. And I think Tom Holland also makes a really good Spider Man.
He does.
Miss Swift, X Men stumbled so MCU could soar. That is a great way of looking at it.
Absolutely.
Um,
I completely agree. And even when they did,
yes,
and even when they went and did First Class and Days of Future Past and the other
Dark
pre,
Phoenix.
well,
Yeah,
the Dark Phoenix saga is something that you cannot stuff into a one movie. It just can't be done. And they keep wanting to try and do it. And well, not that they would listen to me or care what I think, but X-Men is something that would work very well as a proper, give it the money, anthology series on Disney Plus. Give it 12 episodes, give it 15, 22 episodes. Well, 22 episodes is going to be more filler, but give it a solid 15 episodes. And that gives you time for character growth and development. You don't have to stuff everything in 90 minutes.
exactly. Yes, Miss Swift, a brief appearance of Sean Ashmore as Iceman. I think he's
Yep.
in a couple of the scenes here.
Yeah,
And
he
I
was in the
think one,
classroom. He's in the other classroom, and that's about it. Well, Mystique pretends to be him. So, but yeah, Kitty has one line in 30 seconds, and they recast her with now Elliot Page, well, Ellen Page at the time.
that's right. I should revisit this sequel, and this has a lot of, I guess, sequels in the franchise.
Yeah,
Um, and Jean was one of my favorite characters. So for whatever reason, I think they did a disservice by. Well, I'm almost afraid to give a spoiler away. It's almost a shame of what they did to her.
yeah,
Um, I appreciate a lot of the other characters that they keep bringing them back,
hmm
and especially Wolverine. There's no comparing to Wolverine. and he even went on to this last Wolverine Deadpool movie
Yeah.
came
Which,
about because now they're all under the same universe.
yeah.
That in and of itself, I was looking at the history of the copyright holders and who owns what. I have sheets printed up of the history
Yeah.
about who owned what when.
Yeah. So
Um,
who could do what and who could appear and
exactly.
yeah.
And who owned the rights to this character in this iteration and who didn't.
Yeah.
Um, but okay, so what is fascinating, it goes back to 1994. I did not even know this. Lauren Schuler Donner, who was the wife of Richard Donner,
Hmm.
acquired the film rights for the X Men from Marvel for 20th Century Fox.
Yeah.
And that was kind of initiated it. And I think she was
She's
what
been the
part of
producer. She's been the producer on every X-Men movie up to
right.
Deadpool. Yeah.
And but they didn't when this movie was produced. I think she had already sold the rights from her position in Donner Productions, but she had a hand in it.
Yeah. No,
Um,
yeah. She's all over the special features, so she was still there as a
yep,
producer, even if she didn't
sold the
personally
rights
control the rights. But yes, the Fox still had the
exactly.
rights, but she didn't have
So
immediate control over it. I don't think.
the rights over X Men, Marvel, Spider Man. There are times that you watch the Marvel movies thinking, well, why the hell is Spider Man showing up? I didn't know he was part of that. When did he become part of that? So the last movie here, Wolverine and Deadpool, will in one of the other X Men movies, they have that appearance by Deadpool is in just very briefly, like an introduction. Then he shows up again, but there was a time that their characters weren't owned by the same company. Um, and then you throw in Spider Man. I mean, good luck to anybody who can keep it straight.
Well,
Honestly,
I just
uh,
look at it as I understand it. Spider-Man was basically in because Lawrence Schuler Donner was able to get the X-Men rights because Marvel was starting to die and hemorrhage money. Blade, the movie featuring Wesley Snipes, which is a good movie, saved the company from going under. And they realized, oh well, let's we've flogged off the film rights for some of this stuff. Let's try and flog off more of it, make some money. After Blade, this came out, and then Spider Man came out and made a dump trucks upon dump trucks upon dump trucks of money, which saved Marvel Studios.
yeah, exactly. And they were first like Marvel Entertainment, Marvel Studios,
Pictures, Marvel
Marvel,
Entertainment, yeah, all that.
exactly. Then, they started gobbling up all the entities
Yeah.
and the streaming services or whatever. Now everything is owned by one company.
Mm-hmm.
Um, interesting comment. Okay, Miss Swift said, just sad about all the movie iterations of Storm. And Edward says, I despise Halle Berry.
Oh,
Um,
I'll say she
no
wasn't given
place.
much to do.
Right. I think she had maybe two lines in this movie. Oh, and there's Mystique. Oh,
Yeah,
awesome, awesome effect.
yeah,
Oh,
and
she is
as a
amazing.
yeah, and they from it taking a few hours to do that makeup to being under an hour or around an hour for Jennifer Lawrence in the last appearance she was in. She was like, "Oh, like like when Jennifer Lawrence first did Mystique, it was still a few hours, and she was like, "Didn't you have a couple movies to get this figured out with Rebecca
Right.
Romaine? Well, now we have to do it for you." And it's like, "Well,
Yep.
what did you do
That's
on her
true.
last movie? Do it for me and take less time."
Yep. And Jennifer Lawrence actually made her first appearance as Mystique in First Class. Then
Yep.
I think she was in two more after that.
Days of
I
Future
think
Past and Dark Phoenix. I want to, and Days of Future Past, Apocalypse, and
Apocalypse.
then Dark Phoenix. Yeah, four of them. Yeah,
Okay.
Apocalypse and then Dark
Okay.
Phoenix.
Um, okay. Cowbot. So now Disney owns it all now except for Spider Man. Yes, Sony, which has a really weird deal with Disney and Hulk. Universal,
Yeah.
which is why we don't get another solo Hulk film.
Yeah.
Yes. But Disney, yes, Calbot says, and then Disney has the right to use the characters in the MCU. Right.
If it's a team up, yeah, that's part of
Yes.
the thing is that if we don't make it a solo, we
Right.
don't have to pay Universal anything.
Because they're still part of the Avengers,
Yeah,
as long as Hulk is not by himself.
exactly.
And I think Hulk is part of the new Marvel movie coming out next year, Doomsday.
Well, everyone and their dog is a part of Doomsday.
Like everybody, like
Alan
X
Cumming is a
Men,
part of Doomsday.
and I think Fantastic Four. Like everybody is in it because they're all owned by the same company.
Yeah.
Yes,
Old
Halifino.
Fantastic Four, new Fantastic Four. I don't
Exactly. So, and I keep reiterating this, but it's so true. Helifino is reiterating it. These corporations are so petty. Let them all participate and we all make $1 trillion. The movie that's coming out next year has to make minimum $1 billion just to break even. So if this
Yeah,
movie
that would make
flops
sense.
in any way, shape, or form, game over. So what, are they going to just keep revitalizing it, hoping to make more money, just throw all this money at it? Or do you want to scale it back and maybe not throw so much money at it? I don't, let's take a look what the budget for X-Men was. I
Oh,
don't
X-Men
even
1 back,
know.
this X-Men back in the day? No,
Yep, back in the day.
not a
Um,
massive amount.
budget 75 million back in the day. That is a respectable amount.
Well, okay, 75 million for
Okay.
okay, so if X-Men
Not bad.
75 million, episode 1 would have been
Yes,
one
Matt,
one
75 million.
would have been 125
And
ish.
then they made almost 300 million
Yeah, so
on this,
it made more than its money back. So
more than its money back.
which is probably
Probably
why
because
X2 had a jump in budget. So
this is just kind of like a low key superhero movie at the
yeah,
time. Um,
we've got Gandalf in it. So
Gandalf. Okay, Ian McKellen. Yes, perfect Magneto.
oh yeah, and I love his stories whenever he's on Graham Norton or anything. But he, as he explained, he had been asked to do Mission Impossible 2 in the role that Anthony Hopkins ended up taking.
Mm.
And he said, well, do you know when you'd start shooting? How long would it be? All this, because he's got other projects he might want to be able to do. And it just kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed. He said, no, sorry. Well, I would love to work with Tom. Go find somebody else. It took so long for Mission Impossible 2 to get made. We wouldn't have McKellen as Gandalf. We wouldn't have McKellen as Magneto had he done that. And when there's a whole thing, they go into it in the features here and even on Lord of the Rings, with the schedule of shooting this and X-Men 2, and the schedule of when they were doing. Actually, it was a schedule of shooting this.
Mm-hmm.
He talked to Bryan Singer because he wanted to do Gandalf, but schedule with this was messing around with him being able to get to New Zealand. So he talked to the producer, he talked to the director saying, I've got the opportunity to do this. Can you get me out on this day? Pretty much, yeah, of course we can. Let us work around this and we'll shoot you out and you go. He says, oh, well, if you need me for anything else, I can probably schedule this in. We'll figure that out later. Go. And not every director or producer would work around that for getting onto another project, but
Yeah.
they happily were not dicks about it and said, oh, you want to what's the project? Lord of the Yeah, no, you need to go make that.
Exactly.
Lord of the what? No, you go make that.
Yeah, knowing that was going to be such an epic production.
Yeah.
He will be booked for years. That was basically Lord of the Rings is going to take years of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And everything else has to revolve around that. And if you're not going to do it, then sorry.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Hell
Yes.
if I know. Hollywood is just like the rest of America. We never learn. You know what? Yeah.
Yep.
Um, oh, yes. Okay. So James Marsden, yes, there was a post before, I think who, I don't want to misquote this, who posted that, like, perfect casting, yes, underrated casting, Mr. Furzel, James Marsden as Cyclops.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's underutilized in this movie.
He's underutilized in every single movie
In
he's in.
every movie. And I think him and Jean's relationship is portrayed just enough. So it's
Yeah.
not sappy. It's not
Mhm.
this love story stuck in the middle of a superhero movie. Because we want to see the superheroes.
Yep.
Oh, here we go. This is a really sad scene.
Yep.
Oh, and we get a glimpse of Logan
His past. Yep.
and
Logan's
having his
past.
in his past, just a glimpse. And we have to go through, I think, two movies, or
No,
is his origin
it's the next one that we get it.
the next one we get his story. But then in Wolverine Origins, we get the story of, is it him and his brother?
Yeah, him and
I,
Sabretooth. Yeah.
yes, him and Sabretooth. Oh, phenomenal. So you kind of feel bad for her because if she didn't do what she's about to do, she
She'd
was
be
going to
dead.
die. She would be dead.
And this is called back at the end of the movie.
At the end of the movie. Yep. But lucky for her, Wolverine, he's basically indestructible because he can heal himself so damn fast that
Yeah.
something, well, I was going to say something catastrophic was to have to happen, but if you've all seen Logan, it wasn't something catastrophic so much as
His mutation being messed with
his,
in the Wolverine when he's in
yeah, and it was
Japan.
like just time
Hmm.
came for him and his time was up.
Yeah.
um yeah, you know what, Edward the Black Prince, I don't feel bad, you shouldn't have been in his room. Yeah, knowing what he can do, you don't want to startle him, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, um okay, a little bit ago, Edward the Black Prince put up that gif of Wolverine in his comic book original yellow suit, which of course they fell back on in Wolverine and Deadpool.
Yeah.
And it was an amazing costume.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. Also, Edward the Black Prince commented James Marston either dealing with Wolverines or chipmunks. Ugh, ugh, the chipmunks.
Oh yeah, he was
Oh,
James Marsden in the Alvin and the Chipmunks movie, or was that the dude from
I
My
think
Name Is Earl?
was he in the second one? Oh, this special effects that the congressman is squeezing through, that's a pretty wicked effect.
Yeah.
Or hedgehogs. Hell if I know saying hedgehogs. Oh, was he in
Or
Sonic the Hedgehog?
I thought for a second he was in one of those Peter Rabbit movies, but no, he wasn't. That was Rose Byrne and somebody else.
But he was in Enchanted. Maybe that's what the reference was in the movie Enchanted.
Oh yes, with all the
Oh,
dancing fuzzy animals. Yes.
that's right. I forgot about that movie.
And who's his face as Sabretooth here? professional wrestler whose name escapes me.
Yeah, that I don't know. Anybody know his name? Oh, Edward the Black Prince was thinking of Jason Lee as Dave in the first Chipmunks movie.
Okay, yeah, Jason Lee. That was the name I couldn't remember.
Yeah, I might have seen those Chipmunk movies way back when my kids were young. Oh, sister's saying Tyler Maine. Is he a wrestler?
He was.
Hmm. Oh, Edward the Black Prince also got Tyler Maine.
Double checking the rating on this movie. This was PG-13. Likely for
Perfect rating.
likely for the nudity and sci-fi action.
Yeah.
By nudity, I mean this particular scene right here, and that's the extent of it.
Is kind of like a gooey nude person.
Yeah.
There's Stanley.
Yeah.
Doing his cameo. Yes, hell if I know. Yes, cameo.
Yeah. And there's a house and back garden in Toronto somewhere.
Oh, so we have some posts over in Discord. James Marsden in Hop. Never heard of that.
I knew there was something with rabbits. Okay.
Okay. Never heard of it, never saw it.
You haven't missed anything.
Miss Swift is, of course, posting him in Enchanted. That was a cute movie. I haven't seen that in years. Here we go. This interaction, this is kind of a sweet interaction.
Yep.
So that would be kind of a terrible mutation if you stole the life force from people that you touch. That would make for a very lonely life, even though you could still be in the room with other people. You just can't touch them.
Yeah.
At all. So, we have a little bit of deception going on, a little messing with her mind.
Yeah. And there's a couple of alternate takes or deleted scenes, you might say, with this conversation between Cyclops and Professor X. There's some other stuff in there where they talk about, getting Wolverine to join them or, give him an order worth following. And there was even some lines with Magneto and the Senator that in the behind the scenes stuff, you hear alternate dialogue and you go, what's a better line than what's in the movie? Why didn't they put that in the movie? It's like, that's a better performance than what's in the movie. Why isn't that in the movie? But I wasn't in the editing room, was I?
Exactly.
And this is an excellent introduction to the way Cerebro works.
Yes.
I always thought this version of Cerebro looked and felt best compared to everything else they did later.
In which movie was Cerebro destroyed? Was it the sequel or the third one?
It was in Apocalypse.
Was it? Oh, whoa. Okay, that was way
later. Well, because there's the dark Cerebro, the fake Cerebro in the second one, up at the mountain thing. With who's his face, Uncle Argyle there from Braveheart, Brian Cox. But then in the third of the prequel movies, which is Apocalypse, they have, I think it's Apocalypse. Yeah.
Okay.
And when Havoc, who is Cyclops' brother, destroys Cerebro, so that Apocalypse can't have it.
Okay. Yeah,
that tells you how my brain works. I haven't watched these movies in 5 years, and it's still in there.
Yeah, and I remember it getting destroyed, but I think Charles McAvoy played
James McAvoy played
James McAvoy played Charles when it was destroyed, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay, so that would make sense. Helifino is saying, in a way, it gets destroyed in this flick too.
Cerebro does? Oh well, yeah, yeah.
I was thinking,
It gets tampered with by
right? It gets,
Mystique.
yes, but I was remembering a scene where it just basically gets like
Blown
blown
up.
up.
Yeah,
Right. Oh, that's a hell of a motorcycle ride.
yeah.
Rogue is going rogue,
She's just leaving. Is what she's doing.
and she's just leaving. Um, so her name, her
Is
real
Marie
given name in here
Marie something or other?
is it Anna Marie Ann something?
It's just Marie something or other.
Okay.
And sorry to keep harping on the special features. I did watch all 5 hours
Oh,
from this week, but there's a bit coming up when Magneto shows up and he does stuff to the train as his powers would let him do. And pretty much when they first did it, it was a physical effect of tearing the train apart, tearing the train car apart. And Anna Paquin's scream is real. Her hiding behind Hugh Jackman is real. And at the end of it, when they're sort of crouched down or whatever, and Hugh Jackman describes standing up and going, "What the?" Insert expletive here, beginning with F. Was that? It's the effect. You went, okay, then let's try it again. But the first reaction is, what the was that? You know that your effects team is good when your actors go, what the
exactly.
hell was that?
And for a PG-13 rating, you can have what? Two
One,
F bombs or
one.
one.
I think it's
You can
one.
have one F bomb and no frontal nudity, no ass.
Mm-hmm.
But you can have the hint of that, which is what we saw on the beach with that.
With the senator,
Uh,
yeah,
yeah, with that senator.
yeah, and they
So
kept
we have
PG-13 in First Class and gave one F bomb to Hugh Jackman. And it's like, hi,
yes,
I'm Charles. Hi, I'm Magneto. Go for
go
yourself.
for it. Exactly. That was a classic scene.
And that
Love
was the
that.
line. Every single screening of that movie would have had a gut busting laugh out of
And I was
everyone in the
one of them.
theater. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. So Edward the Black Prince is confirming her name is Anna Marie LeBeau.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm just
Um,
I'm just ignoring Remy LeBeau as Gambit. Uh,
oh, yeah, Gambit was basically forgotten about, I guess, in the movies until Deadpool Wolverine. I think he made an appearance.
well,
I
the
had never
comic
heard.
any comic book accuracy of Gambit, he's in X-Men Origins Wolverine as a type of the character of Gambit, but
Okay,
Gambit as Gambit is properly Channing Tatum in the new movie.
yeah. Um, okay, Mr. Furzel makes a very good point. Just because you can mimic the appearance of others doesn't mean you can mimic their DNA, Mystique. Absolutely right. But she not only can look like them, but she's all of a sudden changing it so that Cerebro thinks that she is Professor X, right? So you can't change your DNA.
But she can change her eye to fool the retinal scanner, I guess.
Yeah, is that all it was, or when you plug into Cerebro, it would match your DNA?
Well, she didn't actively use Cerebro. She just plugged in whatever that
Mm.
liquid chemically compound thing is.
And here we have Storm using her powers for the first time, right? I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, no. Did she use it
She made a little
at the
snow
beginning?
flurry in the beginning. That was about it.
At the beginning, that was it. Now we really see her capabilities.
Yeah, here's the train bit when they're about to start tearing it apart. And that's all practical.
Yep, and that would be nothing for Magneto to just do it in about 3 seconds.
Yep.
Edward the Black Prince, Storm weak as fuck in this.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
She's probably the weakest of all of them.
Well, considering she has direct control over weather elements, heat, cold, whatever, you know, based on powers, her and Magneto should be able to go toe to toe.
Yeah,
He ends up kicking her behind 6 ways from Sunday.
right. So if I could control the weather, I would create hurricane force winds and get such a hurricane centrally located to just totally decimate whoever is in the way.
Yep.
You know, or lightning, like she uses the lightning. Other than that, why waste your time with whatever else you can control? Rain, wind, unless it's destructive within 5 seconds tops.
Yeah. And this whole bit here with police cars we're about to see, it's like this is nothing for him.
Like, yeah, this is laughable. And the cops should know it.
Well, they should know, but also, is this really the first time he's going massively public with what he can do? And it feels like it is.
Yes.
Because based on the lore and logic of this movie, in this movie, when he showed up when he was there at the Senate hearing in the audience with Charles, they were in no way making themselves known. So when he starts doing this, that's when well, then you have to wonder about the end. It's like, well, how is there a plastic prison to hold Magneto? And it's like, well,
Right.
then
They
there's like, well, what lore are they not telling us? Oh, that shows up
Well,
in the next movie.
yeah, and if we take First Class as part of this lore, he was known back then in some
Yeah,
regard. So they knew of him.
yeah. Or let's say elements within parts of
Right.
the government are aware of him.
Yeah.
And
So it is interesting as to how prepared would the government have been against all of these mutations. They
mhm,
would have they should have felt powerless, and they pretty much are. If you get all of these X-Men together, they're powerless.
yeah,
Yes, Mad Matt, stop debating Storm's powers, just let it go. Yep, we're going to let it go and have fun. This movie is all about having fun. So at a certain point, does Jean ever become more powerful than the professor? She was trying to. I don't know if she had ever succeeded.
depends on how you interpret some stuff that happens in the later movies.
Mm,
But she might have some more raw power, but it's never as fine tuned. Like if Professor X really wanted to, he could be strolling by in a wheelchair, tap your arm, and boom, you're dead, or just be rolling down the, and just psychically turn your brain off. If he really wanted to, he could mess around with you that much. He doesn't want to. It's against his philosophy.
Yeah.
But, let's say Magneto and Professor X were on the opposite sides of their philosophy. A telepath of that power would be drastically
Unstoppable.
frightening and
Yeah,
unstoppable. Yeah.
unstoppable.
Mm-hmm.
Good
I,
point. Matt is saying Magneto shouldn't have been able to stop any of those lead bullets.
but
Um,
true. But were they in metal jackets if they're in that type of firearm? So that's
right, or
probably.
the firing pin, I think, is metal.
Mm,
I mean, I don't know. We could get pretty technical, but all Magneto needs is a little bit of metal, as I think we've seen in the next movie that he uses to make his escape. Just a little bit of metal,
too much
and
iron in the dude's blood, and he sucks it all
yep.
out of his person. Yeah,
Oh yeah, that was wicked.
yeah. And here's Bruce Davidson collapsing in Hugh Jackman's arms.
Yeah, and isn't it interesting? He was the one at the very beginning of the movie,
Mm-hmm. Railing
afraid
against.
of the mutants, and now here he is seeking help.
Yeah. And clearly there's something in Senate briefs because he knows to go here.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
government must know something about him
He must. Yep,
or the school because
yep.
the senator showed up.
It's probably one of the best kept secrets, as in not secret at all, because everybody seems to kind of know that they're there.
Mm-hmm.
But if the government really knew that they were there and really afraid of them, they would have been raided long ago.
Well, that's what happens at the beginning of the next movie.
Exactly. Helifino is saying he is a ferrokinetic, which does not necessarily apply to metals, which are magnetic.
Well, because if you can control magnetic fields, I know they do it in the cartoon where he basically reverses the poles or reverses the magnetic field of the Earth, uh, which is really neat in the cartoon. But even
Interesting.
like we're showing an extent of Magneto's powers here that he just whatever the machine is he's using weakened him to the point of almost incapacitating him. So is that putting a stop on Magneto's powers, or are they just trying to be sensible for the movies?
That is a very good question, because it's in this movie, at least, it's just not really explained what he can do
Other
or
than
why
he can
he do
mess
it.
with magnetic fields. That's about it.
Right.
Mm.
And it's not, I don't think it's explained in any of the movies, is it? But then you go to the backstory, you can Google it.
Yeah.
Um, and it's okay. And Eric is going further. Magneto is a ferrokinetic, meaning he has the power to control magnetic fields and manipulate metals, including the iron in organic matter. His powers extend beyond simple magnetism, okay? Allowing him to control the entire electromagnetic spectrum, generate force fields, and even affect non ferrous metals by manipulating their molecular structure. So that's a very specific power. And if you want to go one step further and try to grasp how a genetic mutation in his body would have allowed him to do that, you'd probably run up against a brick wall. Um, that's that to me would be more of like a superpower that you would get from an external force, maybe like gamma rays or something would make you able to do that. Um, but it is interesting.
Yeah, and I'm just looking here, like there doesn't like Spider-Man gets spider type powers from being bitten by a spider. What's a Hulk? Doesn't matter. What's a gamma ray? We don't want to use nuclear, but let's use gamma. So that's a thing that'll
Yep.
work. But mutants. Okay, well, what's a mutant? well, mutation, evolution. Okay, well that makes a kind of sense.
Yep.
And there's a really weird looking. Okay, that effect actually stands up
Yeah.
much better than some of the effects in the Mummy and the Mummy 2. Uh,
Yes. This scene is one of the best effects. That had to have been a combination of practical and CGI.
yeah,
Um, that still holds up. Yes, Edward the Black Prince night sweats like crazy. He's like one big night sweat.
yeah. And what was I thinking? Oh yeah, here's
Oh, Miss Swift, that was funny. That's from Ghostbusters too. Why am I drippings with goo?
why am I drippings with goo? Yes, Janosch forever.
Oh, okay, Johnny Devick. Yes, so the origin of the X Men, it came from Stanley, and Johnny Devick is saying Stanley was tired of making up accidents to explain powers, so he just made up Born with Powers in the Mutant.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so whether it's believable or not, none of this is believable. This is Hollywood. This is movie. It's make believe, and it's a hell of a fun ride.
Oh yeah. And I remember Patrick Stewart saying, "I don't know if I want to be stuck in a chair for a couple of movies." So he was like, "Oh, I don't know if I want to do this." After not that long after Next Gen,
Yes, that
like, do,
was
do I want to get involved in
5 years.
another big franchise after Next Gen?
Yeah, and the answer, of course, is yes.
And he's happily been going to dinners on these movies ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There was a comment before when I had asked if Jean Grey ever tried to be or was ever more powerful than Professor Helifino says technically she is.
Yeah. But she doesn't have
Is
the finesse. Yeah. She has the raw power.
okay, but in this movie you don't really see her as more powerful. Is it developed later in the other movies?
It is.
If I
Yeah.
remember correctly, yeah, I don't remember that, but yeah, I remember she is hella powerful.
Yeah. And even this, Scott's looking at,
Yeah.
Jean, let's say, not as trained to use Cerebro, but even that, like she's Cerebro's more controlling her than she's controlling Cerebro. And yeah, more stuff happens with her in X2, and then they try to rush plot in X-Men 3.
Okay. So yes, good point, Johnny Devick. Only after she got the Phoenix powers.
Yeah,
Okay, now I'm remembering it. That is in
3.
part 3, right?
Well, and end of
Or
2
is it
and then
part
3.
2?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, and Johnny Devick, yes, we're going back to the comic version of her. She got the Phoenix from space in the comics. It took many issues to tell her story from good to bad.
Hmm.
Truly an epic comic.
It is that was like a half a year, 1 year run. That's like 6 to 12 issues. That's a long run.
Right.
I might be wrong on the numbers. I probably am, but like I remember, it's a long run. Like if you pick up the Dark Phoenix saga trade paperback, that's not thin. Like you're,
And that was what year was that? Did they delay that like for the 80s or 90s for that arc? Or was that back in the 60s or 70s when they had her do that?
I'd have to look that up. I'm not sure when the Dark Phoenix saga as a comic book run actually ran. I want to say it's the 80s
Okay.
because I want to say it's after some of the Wolverine stuff in particular. Like the Chris
Um,
Claremont Wolverine stuff, it's like after that or around that.
okay. Johnny Devick is saying, I remember that story at a friend's place back in the 80s.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then they kind of touched on that in these later movies.
Yeah. So all Johnny Devick's and Miss Swift and Mad Mad are all right when they say when the cartoon series did Dark
Mhm.
Phoenix so much better than any of the live action movies, but it's a cartoon. It's able
Mm.
to do all that.
Yep, exactly. Good point. Over there in Discord, Miss Swift posted The Rock as the Scorpion King from the
Yeah.
Mummy movies.
Yeah.
Yes, very appropriate. Sis Sister is saying when CGI goes bad, they could. I luckily missed that. I think after the second Mummy movie, I was kind of done with the franchise.
Well, that is Mummy movie. That's Mummy 2.
Is that Mummy too?
That's Mummy 2.
Wait a minute.
It was Mummy,
Oh,
Mummy 2, Scorpion
okay.
King the movie.
Then he
The
had
rest
his
of them,
own movie.
yeah, Scorpion King the
Okay,
movie, and then
shit, that's right.
a couple of direct to video Scorpion King prequels, and then Mummy 3 was like 7 years later.
That's right. That's Mummy 2. Thank you. I have not seen Mummy 2 in a very long time.
Yeah, that well,
Um,
and what's a little sad, a little disgusting, I get because it was probably a bit rushed. But you look at the budget of Mummy 2. Look at the budget of the Two Towers. Everything in the Two Towers stacks up 25 years later. That scene in Mummy 2 does not.
and it's like a weird combination. You would think that image there, Miss Swift, almost would work better
As a
as
practical
a
puppet.
practical.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think Hollywood had gone so far into the CGI territory, it was like
Yeah.
everything is CGI. Don't even worry about practical anymore.
Well, it's like that was, and that was sort of that weird bridging period of a couple of years with CGI. Like you look at, like we did on previous watch parties, Mortal Kombat 1 and various creature effects in that, and Mortal Kombat 2. Less creature effects, more CGI effects. And which one clearly feels like direct to video?
Exactly. Um, there are some very interesting uh, comments here. Johnny Devitt, yes, Mummy 2 is good with the female fight scenes. One of
Yes.
the highlights of Mummy 2. And I think it really added to the story of it. And then Calbot, there are 5 Scorpion King movies. 5. I have yet to see one. I will not see
I've
any.
The first one is fun, if only because Dwayne
Ah,
Johnson's trying to stretch some early acting chops.
oh, geez, I guess.
It does feature Roger Rees in a fun part, who was Sheriff of Nottingham in Men in Tights, for those that need a.
Okay.
And Michael Clark Duncan's in it. He's good in it. Uh, but yeah, then they start going into Ronnie Couture in Scorpion King 2. And then there's 3 more, which I haven't seen. But
Jeez. Um, Halifino, shout out, add it to the list, Sharon. Which movie?
Mummy 2,
Mummy 2?
I think is what he means. I might be wrong. Mummy 2 is probably the easiest one for people to get their hands on. Or he means Mummy 3, and or we could put both of those
Right.
on a list somewhere.
Or
And
the Scorpion King movies. I'm guessing it revolved around Mummy 2. I
oh,
can add it to the list, no guarantee. Oh, this is a great scene
yeah,
where they're all
setting
fighting
off
together.
setting off the metal detector, and
Okay.
the first
Halifino
instance of Hugh
is saying
Jackman
Mummy
giving the
2. Yeah.
finger.
Yep. Oh, here we go. She's hiding in plain sight.
Yeah, there's someone here. Keep your eye open.
Okay. Hell if I know, we don't talk about Mummy 3 and Edward the Black Prince. Hell no, I ain't watching 3. 3 is a no-go. Mummy 2 I'll put on the list, no guarantee. I will
Yeah.
put
And
that on the list.
here's where we get into as we get into this fight,
This is a great
and it
fight scene.
proves, the bit you were saying earlier, or someone was saying earlier about Mystique able to mimic, but
Yeah.
not completely copy. Because in about 2 seconds, right here, Hugh Jackman slices through the other claws, and she shrieks because she's been physically cut.
Yeah.
And the toad effects here, I never quite. They didn't use Ray Park properly in this role at all.
So his superpower is that he has the agility of a frog, he has the tongue of a frog.
And he's got some spit up thing he puts on Jean Grey in a second.
Right. He's got that goo that he spits, which is like a super glue.
Yeah.
But he's got some pretty nice dance moves there.
Yeah. And he has one of the best lines. Don't you people ever die?
Yep.
And
And
it's followed up by one of the worst lines as delivered by Halle Berry.
yeah, you know what, Edward the Black Prince, Toad is a silly villain.
He is.
It's yeah, they probably could have come up with someone that actually had epic powers and not look like a toad.
Yeah.
But Storm does actually have epic powers coming up that I would actually use. Yes, Johnny Devick Storm does tell the best jokes. She has a really good scene coming up.
Yeah. And what has always got me with the Cyclops
Gary.
character is, and that's just showing off Rebecca Romaine, good for her,
Yep.
was a line Jean Grey has earlier that if Scott didn't have his visor, he would punch a hole through a mountain. Which, like, okay, that's telling us his powers are at a particular high level. And then, anytime other than when the roof gets blown off the train station, he's making like he's going to do some epic thing with his laser blast, and then he's opening a door. I'm like, really? Like, you're supposed to be this badass, and you're opening a door. I don't get it. You're opening a door.
The things that you could do with that kind of
Like,
vision.
and old Johnny Devick just said tunnel vision. Yeah, but I'm like, he could make a train tunnel.
Yeah,
like that.
Could. And you know what? The train companies or anybody that needs to blast holes in the side of the mountain, they could call on him. He could do it in a day, less than a day.
Yeah.
Okay, Storm is pretty badass here.
Yeah.
And she seems to be the only one that could take out the Toad in this circumstance.
Yeah.
In that circumstance, wouldn't you want to make a hurricane surrounding him? And a hurricane itself would tear this guy to shreds.
Yeah, like if the wind's powerful enough, throw him in a cyclone and then tear his skin off.
Yeah.
Well, if they gave a rated X-Men just for allowing violence, like The Boys or something. And
yes, this is the line. Do you know what happens to a toad when it's struck by lightning?
Same thing that happens to everything else.
You know what I'm thinking? Yeah, same thing that happens to everything else. Yes.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, but she hits the railing, which runs up his tongue, and then I'm presuming cooks him from the inside.
Yes, because all she did was send him off into the water. Mm-hmm. And if that's all, then he would be able to swim to shore. So he would have to die.
Yeah. And this is a neat bit with the morphing they do.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a fun evolution of the morphing from Willow.
And there she goes.
And those 3 marks come back in X-Men 2. And here's Gene Hackman's best line.
Prove it. You're a dick. Best line. That is the best line. Cracks me up every time.
Yeah, I did. When I saw this in the theater 2, 3 times, every single time,
Every single time.
laughing your ass off.
Um, oh, Johnny Devick is just reminding us Storm was playing Frogger, and she's just playing Frogger.
Nice.
Yep. Johnny Devick, here we go. There was a singer that was almost chosen as Storm. Can't remember her name. Does anybody know? I think I knew that at one point. A little bit of trivia.
Nope, that's escaping me.
Hey, anybody know? Shout it out. Hell if I know is reminding us that Cyclops isn't a dick, though. No, he's not, but it's that manly competition that Wolverine wants the babe, but he knows
Mhm.
Cyclops has the babe. Okay, Hell if I know is saying Janet Jackson. Matt is saying Beyonce.
Well, Beyonce would have been too young for Storm at the time.
Janet
Maybe-
Jackson back in 2000 would have been
Janet Jackson would have worked.
maybe a little old.
Well,
Yeah, she was in her 20s in the 80s, so she would have been close to
40, and then
maybe.
yeah,
All right,
then-
let me see. Who almost played Storm in X-Men? Oh, you're right. Okay, Hell if I know is saying Janet Jackson. Yeah, it was Janet Jackson. Almost played Storm, but turned it down due to her schedule, with the role ultimately going to Halle Berry.
yeah. And this is Halle Berry post Bulworth and a few other things, and pre her Oscar. So, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Halle Berry won an Oscar for
Monsters Ball with
Monsters
Billy Bob
Ball.
Thornton. Same
Hell if
year.
I know, you are epic, man. That is from your memory. I give you a high five. You know, sometimes my memory will serve me. Sometimes it's just all gone.
Janet Jackson probably would have been good in this.
Yeah, what do you think it would have been like with Janet?
I don't know, but the press tour
Don't
probably would have been a little bit nuts.
Johnny
she-
Devitt.
I'd-
Some also said Mariah Carey, but yeah, WTF, not Mariah Carey.
No, Mariah Carey's
That would
Latina,
have been no.
and
No,
the Storm
too much
character is
energy.
very much not. So, there's. I saw a clip of Daniel Day Kim, the one of the actors from Lost, when he was talking about casting based on race and sometimes being too specific, like versus a Korean versus Chinese versus Japanese. He was talking about Asian American roles, and then you look at the script and there's nothing specific to being Japanese or Chinese or Southeast Asian or Korean or whatever. So why are you limiting the casting to just Koreans or just Japanese or just whatever? And I'm thinking, well, as he makes the reasonable point, sometimes the character is the character, and he or she happens to be this. With a character like Storm, and you go into some of the histories, like, well, no, a Latina actress, they might be a fantastic actress, but it's not the character.
Right. Was Storm always an African American woman?
To the best of my knowledge, yes.
Okay, and
If
if
she
that
was,
the history of the character, then that's what you would cast.
yeah,
Edward is saying Storm is specifically African. Then
Yeah.
that's what you would cast.
yeah.
This is a great fight scene on top of the Statue of Liberty.
Yep. There's one weird CG scene as he spins around the spike in the crown.
Yeah.
It was wonky then. It's wonky now.
Oh, Johnny Devick. Yes, she was an African goddess. Is that her origin?
As controller of weather, yeah, that makes sense.
Nice.
Here's the wonky bit.
Yeah, where he has his, yeah. And I could see the effect that they were going for in this, which
Yeah.
is still pretty cool.
Yeah. No, again, harping back to the special features, there's a bit where he's like, oh, he just grabs onto it and swings around and jumps back up. I guess they thought they want something a little cooler. So let's just
Right.
have him use the claws and we'll spin him around. Kind of
Yeah.
cool. You
Yeah.
didn't quite pull it off. It's neat. You didn't quite pull it off.
Well, gravity doesn't work that way, but it is a cool effect.
Yeah, but I do
Let's,
like in the upshot they just did to the Statue of Liberty. They did have the points in the crown. One of them's cut off, so they did keep
oh,
continuity.
good.
They at least kept continuity there. And here's a great Wolverine line. Hey, bub, I'm not done with you yet.
Yep. I'm not finished with you yet. So I don't know why Magneto thinks, well, okay, I take that back. I was going to say, why did Magneto tie them up instead of just trying to kill them all? It's because his very nature, he doesn't want to kill other mutants.
This is true.
He's not at war with them. He just wants them out of the way. But he'll kill them if they get in the way of his plan.
Mm-hmm.
Storm should be able to get up there. She can't control it like that. Well, she can control
Yeah, like
light.
they're like even just right there with that line, they narfed her entire powers.
Yeah. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, it's like you can do this, you can raise him up, but you can't. Like, are you crazy? And like you need the wind for that, and they need to have Jean Grey something to do.
Yeah.
But and they hint that the Phoenix powers get tweaked when the machine aura thingamajig passes over
Mhm.
her. But when the machine aura thing went over Mystique or Magneto earlier, didn't enhance their powers. So
Well,
Jean Grey's
Johnny
just special.
is piggybacking on that and asks, would be nice with some backstory for this machine.
Yeah,
Instead of,
it,
here's the
it's it,
machine.
it,
This is
it
what we want it to do.
it's a MacGuffin. It's the thing to do the story thing, and the audience don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though the claws were a bit wonky in the CGI there, it still worked.
It still works.
Yeah, like they're getting pulled back a bit. They're getting messed
Mhm.
around with.
And it looks like that would just hurt like hell.
Yeah, and from later movies, when you even in this movie, when you realize, oh, there's actually bone under there. I don't know about you, but if someone decides to chicken wing my forearm, I'm going to be screaming in agony.
Yeah. Oh, over in Discord, Mr. Furzel posted an image. Is that Wolverine and Storm from
Yes,
the series?
that's from the cartoon series.
Okay. Yeah, she does not look like that in the movie.
No,
And it is so 90s, yes.
so very 90s. Yeah, so very early 90s punk rock hair.
Yeah. Okay, Miss Swift
I agree
says,
with Halafino there.
you know what? Okay, Helifino says, I always thought the Thanos snap would be the thing that instigated the mutants in the MCU, but no.
Yeah,
Interesting. And then Miss Swift says, one of my biggest gripes with this movie is how lame the X-Men are. They were never kick ass.
true.
Especially since if you fast forward to the MCU universe and you get all of their powers and you see how kick ass they are, then you come back and say, yeah, these guys are kind of lame in comparison.
Yeah, but as someone said earlier, this series walked so the MCU could run.
I think that was Miss Swift. Didn't Miss Swift also say that? So, very true. So, if we go back to when these movies first came out, it was still a hell of a ride because we knew nothing of the impending MCU takeover.
Yeah. And even just this effect here,
Oh,
where you're going to look thinking, okay, we just saw Wolverine go through this massive fight with Sabretooth, but, now he's actually bleeding. Now he's actually this, that, and the other thing. You're like, oh, wow. Like, how much of his power did he actually give her? So, and I like that
a lot.
her hair stays white from Magneto.
Yes, that is cool. So now it's just taking him a little bit longer to heal. So she actually drained a lot of his power.
Mm-hmm. I think there's a line by Jean Grey saying, she took over some of your more charming personality traits. It's like, oh, which traits were those?
He's always charming. What are you talking about?
And
Okay.
convenience, by sheer convenience, Xavier is now fine.
Yep. So amazingly, what I noticed in First Class, having watched it this past week, James McAvoy has the accent, and it's a very pronounced accent. Fast forward to Patrick Stewart's Professor X, there's no accent.
Well,
Um,
they were going for
no explanation.
Englishy mid-Atlantic accent, not an accent, you know, 30s,
Exactly.
40s posh accent, mid-Atlantic general stuff. So, though, speaking of accent slipping, I know we know Hugh Jackman did once, but Famke Janssen's accent didn't really jump around too much. Unlike in Goldeneye, where her accent was a little hopscotchy.
That's a little bit much.
And this is the second Famke Janssen movie we're watching after Goldeneye.
That is very true. There's another movie that she was in, and I want to say it was called A Thousand Steps.
The name isn't ringing a bell.
No, 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 100 feet. I think it was 100 feet.
The restaurant
So
movie with who's his
nope,
face and
nope.
what's
There's a little known movie from 2008. It's called 100 feet.
okay.
It was very hard for me to find. I had to get a DVD of it,
Yeah.
and well, I don't want to give away too much, but if you want to find a really underrated, not too many people know about it, she stars in it. It's called 100 feet. Um, yes, Miss Swift. No, the home arrest movie. Yes, she was on house arrest, and that's kind of the
Okay,
basis.
that makes the title make more sense then. Okay,
Yep,
yeah.
and she couldn't leave her home and get within 100 feet of the base of the tracking device. She had this ankle monitor on.
Yeah.
Um, oh, Miss C, Mystique is not out. So anyway,
Yeah.
oh, Miss Swift saw it. Yes, very good. Yeah, check it out, anybody. I don't know if it's available. I know I couldn't find it on streaming anywhere, so I ended up getting the DVD, and I thought it was very enjoyable, well worth a watch.
There's Rogan Bobby starting their thing, and
Starting their thing,
she
and
goes to
Logan
say
is
goodbye to
off.
Logan. Yeah.
Mm. And that's where I think X2 picks up. He's already on the road searching for.
He's already up in
He's
Alkali
already
Lake,
up at
up,
the base, I think, right?
up in Alberta. Yeah. So if we look at if we think time to travel there, be there, and then okay, well, let's say it takes him. Well, he has the super fast special bike that he steals from Scott in a second. So the X-Men and X-Men 2 are almost back to back story wise.
Time wise, does it pick up shortly after?
It's pretty well. Let's presume he goes right there.
Okay.
that he's going to be there in less than a week. Then he's there for however long he's there. Then he leaves and comes back. So X-Men 1, X-Men 2, in theory, take place in under a month.
Right.
But then they allude to the fact that he's been in the prison here for a little while.
I think they're jumping in time, or this prison was already built. Who knows? It kind of is all over the place.
I'm thinking I've got to be wrong because they must be jumping in time a little bit.
They would have to.
And I got to say, from the end of this movie, with this scene, and using it as the stake point of the trailer for X-Men 2,
Mm-hmm.
which, if memory serves, Bryan Singer edited on his laptop before they submitted it and it got sent out. But the trailer to X-Men 2 was one of those trailers that, in modern parlance, would have broken the internet. But, I think it was Apple had the QuickTime website with all the trailers on it. Episode 1 broke the webpage. Trailer for X-Men 2 broke the webpage. So many people watching and downloading it.
Yeah, no kidding. So yeah, it's interesting that in the previous scene where Wolverine called Cyclops a dick,
Yeah.
who's the dick now? He stole the dude's bike.
Yeah.
Oh, Jody Devick said, "Yep, saw the X-Men on QuickTime."
Yeah.
Boy, that's taken me back to the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000.
Yeah, and if you were Johnny Devick, you probably remember quite well. If you were trying to download the good version, the 480p version, which was massive in size for its day, that was going to take you all damn night to download. Or you maybe try and stream it for the 320 or the lower res version, the 240 or whatever it is, and then you just hope it's not pixelated to hell.
Exactly. Oh, and yeah, the speeds of the internet when you had dial-up and then you had what was after that? Then broadband. Everything took forever.
Yeah, it's still broadband. Yeah, yeah. When you got DSL and you didn't have to monopolize a phone line or cable,
everything took forever to download. There you go, guys. We are done. Nice, quick, uplifting movie that was. I can't just. There's nothing I can say about it other than what a great ride. It was good fun. Even though we kind of picked apart a little bit, it was all in fun. I love this movie, and I'm so glad you guys joined me for it. And thank you, Alex, for being here as a co-host.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. Hopefully I didn't ramble on too much for you folks.
That's what we do. We ramble on about everything. Sometimes it's not even about the movie.
Yeah, we actually didn't have too many wild tangents this time, which was neat.
Well, that's what's fun. If we just spent the whole time talking about the movie and couldn't get off topic, I don't know as if there would be that much to talk about or, anything new to add. That's why we have everybody here contributing and we just go off on tangents.
Yeah. So what's next? What's up for next week?
Okay, guys. Yes, I do have it written down for next week. Let's see. Any last minute comments? Oh, Miss Swift is giving a round of applause. Johnny Devick is saying it has good cinematic, but still feel like a pilot episode, a really high grade pilot. Okay.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
And yeah, Johnny Devick is saying, good show, Alex and Sharon. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Oh, Johnny Devick. Patrick Stewart said, his role was mostly exposition, and the movie was an extended trailer for X-Men 2.
But you know what? It was limited exposition. He could have gone on and on. It was just enough that we know who these characters are.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, next week we have Lord of Illusions. and Miss Swift is going to join us as a co-host.
Nice. Lord of Illusions.
And
What year is that?
that is, I want to say 80s.
Because the name is not ringing a bell. I'm going to have to write that one down. Lord of
Oh,
Illusions.
95. My mistake. It is a 1995 movie. Yes, and it was a very well-known movie back then. It should be available to all of you in all of your time zones, all of your countries.
Ah,
If you have if you have a hard time finding it, let me know. Reach out to me, and I'll help you find it.
I just did a search, and Famke Janssen is second billed. It's a third. It's another Famke Janssen movie with Scott.
There you go. This is great. This is great. Yes, Scott Bakula is in it.
And
Yep, Hellfire. It's the
directed
quantum
by
leap.
Clive Barker. Interesting.
And it has been a while since I saw this. I believe I rented this movie way back in the day. So I'm gonna do another pre-watch and catch up on it, and so that's what we got on board for next week. For the month of September, um, September is a very interesting month, guys. Stephen King's birthday is September 21st, and The Long Walk in theaters is supposed to come out September 25th. That's what I heard. So we'll probably be doing some Stephen King stuff next month.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's what we have on board next week. So I will let you know, last week's stream, I did not end the broadcast on time. Miss Swift pointed out, hey, the live stream is still going. So it went on for like an extra 10 minutes or so. I'm going to remember to end the broadcast today. So no worries. So thank you all for joining us today. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
We are going to be doing this again and having a whole bunch of rotating guests. I love that idea. Bringing in everybody's opinion, having you all a chance to get into a movie you guys like. And there you go. We got some good things on the horizon. So
It's all fun.
It's all fun. That's what Sunday cinema is all about.
Yep.
So we will see you all next week, same time, same channel, different co-host, and we'll have a blast. And we'll see you all next time.
See you next week, folks.
Bye.